Okay.
I'm terrified. Listen to me, Republicans. Listen. You are the people in history they warned us about. They warned us about people like you. Pay attention. We're losing our democracy. Wake up. Wake up. I'm terrified.
Okay.
She seems nice.
She seems nice. I have something to say about this woman. I'm sorry, guys. I know some of you have already seen this, and she's terrifying. There's a couple things this does for me. One, it brings up what we've talked about, which is that they project all of the time. Everything that they are about, they project and try to say that people who oppose them are about these things. So, for example, she's screaming that she's terrified. You are terrifying. You are terrifying. And you don't seem to realize that. And number two, she's talking about history. You're the people we were warned about. I seriously doubt this woman has read very much about history. Seriously doubt she's read very much about history or read very much at all.
Public school, and we're the people that the history teacher warned her about.
Right.
That's what she means.
Because if she had read about history, the similarities that are currently happening right now between when we talk about the mass manipulation of the American people, the mass manipulation of an entire country, the propaganda, the gaslighting by the legacy media and the big social together, and the way that some of those things are being coordinated by our own intelligence agencies. If you were familiar with history, you, like Sean Lennon, who we talked about the other day, you would be very alarmed at where things are headed. And again, it is a case of projection in that you've bought into this very surface level false narrative that's being pushed on you about the ways in which she believes we're losing our democracy. Well, yeah, our democratic republic is under attack. And I think Western civilization itself is under attack. Our entire way of living, all of the founding principles here in the United States. I had to fill out something. They might include me in some news article about voters, and I had to answer these questions about why I'm voting and who I'm voting for. And I was saying, like, truly, all of the principles we were founded on, the concept of individualism, free speech, the concept of equality under the law, of personal liberty, all of those things are being threatened at the moment, but not in the way that the media is projecting and telling you they are. What a great obfuscation. Look at your the word of the day on your sign, Carter. They're obfuscating what's really happening, and they're gaslighting people like this woman who do not have a deep understanding of history. All she has is emotion. Okay, what do you have to say about her?
No, I mean, I don't have much to say about her other than she's why I'm against democracy. I mean, someone went out of their way to help this woman vote. I'm sure someone was like, we need more people voting. Are you sure you got your mail-in ballot, lady? Someone's very concerned that she gets to vote. So, yeah, no, I mean, I think, look, this is common. This is just, obviously it's a form of Trump derangement syndrome that's been going on. And, we read Coddling of the American Mind, which I think does a great job of laying out some of the psychological foundations for some of the dysfunction that we're seeing today and why people are reacting the way they are. And, this woman's got to be miserable. She's just got to be, like, she's not a happy person. I mean, we all get angry. I've gotten angry before and screamed. But usually I'm angry at myself and screaming and no one's in the house because I feel like I can do that or whatever. Like, sometimes I'll scream at someone. I can't imagine making a video and uploading a video. Like, those are the moments when I lose my shit. Those are the moments when I feel bad about myself afterwards and go, that was not me being my best self. That's not the kind of person I want to be. That's a failure. That's my failure. I failed. So I do
She
not need
doesn't
to
have
upload the
any.
failure to Twitter and share it around.
Talk about being completely divorced from self
Awareness.
introspection.
Yeah.
And like this woman is not grounded. You're not aware to step back and say that wasn't my best self, and that's not a way to convince anyone of everything. And hey, wait a minute, maybe the problem is with me. If this is the way I'm behaving, at least you should stop and question. It may not be with you, but if this is the way you're behaving, I would step back and say, okay, how did I contribute to this situation? It's like you said, you and I have yelled at each other before on the phone. You
Sure,
know
but
what
we
always
don't we don't
inevitably.
like we don't then like and that's exactly how I wanted to conduct that in
I
like
know,
that
that's what I
like,
mean.
yeah.
Because you know what happens after you and I have yelled at each other is we both step back and do self introspection and realize I shouldn't have done
Oops.
this. We both end up apologizing
Right.
and then
As we
explaining
should.
ourselves better as we should and coming to a compromise. We would never be like, this is the best representation of me.
Right.
This
I
awful
stand by
moment
that
where I was my
rant.
worst self.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what this is? This is the intellectual equivalent of someone who screams louder at a foreign language in a foreign country because they're not understood. Like, you know, the people that they go, you've been to foreign countries before, where there's you know some places are tourist destinations, and so you'll have often Americans, but could be anyone, but often the stereotype is the American who like says the thing, and whatever the thing they're saying is in the wrong language or not correct or whatever, and they or just English, and they just scream it more loudly at you because they think that you don't understand. I'm in China and you don't understand me because I need to speak my English louder and more slowly for you, you dumb Chinese person. Like, no, you're actually speaking in a language that they do not understand. You're not speaking the language. The sounds you're making are not sufficient to communicate. And to me, this is the intellectual equivalent of this. This is her, like, look at her argumentation here. There's literally no substance to this. This is history warned us about you people. There's no content there. This is extremely abstract with zero content, no nuance, no philosophy, no reasons. Just she's basically saying you are the bad people, and I see that you don't understand that you're the bad people. And my solution to that is instead of explaining to you that you're the bad people and why, I will
Yeah.
scream more loudly and emphatically that you're bad. Maybe then you'll understand that you're
Here's
bad.
here's why I think, in fact, that a person with her personality type exhibiting the behavior she is, and I think she is the kind of person that history's warned us about several times over. And here's an example. This is a book that we read for book club. If you guys missed it, you can go watch the video. It's called Ordinary Men. It's a book that Jordan Peterson recommended, and we finally got to read it. It's by Christopher Browning, and it's about a reserve police battalion, Police Battalion 101, and the final solution in Poland. It's about the Holocaust, and it's about these everyday people. It's basically about how do you get everyday people, average people, to go along with great evil and to play a part and be complicit in great evil and tyranny and oppression and even genocide and even murder. And there are some very interesting parts of the book. One part that we read was about how they used indoctrination on these guys. They had to go to seminars, much like critical race theory, forced critical race theory seminars, forced white fragility seminars, and some of their seminars were called, race as a worldview, which is what social justice ideology is. And they basically were being ideologically indoctrinated, much like people like this woman have been indoctrinated, I would argue, without even knowing anything about her. If she's living in this society and she's coming away with this belief, I think that she's at least casually picked up on the indoctrination that's been happening from all of our legacy media, big social, entertainment, academia, especially over the past 3 months.
Oh yeah, I mean, if you're someone who's like this, you absolutely are a product of your environment, right? Because this is not this is the opposite of living consciously and thinking consciously, right? This is just she's been taught that what she feels is her feelings are sufficient, sufficient justification for anger and outrage, and her feelings are. If she's going to believe that lie, then she's very likely the very existence of her feelings has likely been manufactured, right? Because she's
Yeah.
been leaving. She's been just
You,
letting
yeah.
herself get tossed around by the ocean.
And if you're believing what little we know about her from this video, if you're believing this false narrative, then you are exactly the people history has warned us about. You're exactly the average person who can be swayed by propaganda and manipulation to bring out this hatred and toxicity and terrifying part of yourself.
Right.
You've already shown me you're the type. You've bought into all of this. So do I think that she could be the type to have bought into propaganda and justification and indoctrination in the past, and some of these historical examples we have of how ideology can go wrong? Yes.
Oh, totally. Totally. I could totally see this in the Weimar Republic. Her screaming about, who knows, the debauchery in Berlin. I don't know.
Yeah.
Whatever the thing is. But in like a pro-Nazi way, I could see her screaming.
Yeah. And if somebody, the thing is about people like her, there was a woman like her who, actually, I wonder if it is her. She looks kind of similar. There was a woman like her who was stalking me on Facebook for a while, and who was like a friend of a friend, and stalking Mike Harlow too. And remember that woman I sent you her rantings, and you were like, Carrie,
yes.
this is just straight.
Oh yeah, there was something wrong. Like she needed help. Yeah.
She needed help.
Yeah.
And I look at this, and I have a lot of feelings and opinions about it, but one of the opinions is that I hope she has people in her life who really do care about her, who are not just ideological allies, but people who are friends who can say, you like help her, you need help of some kind. I don't know what kind, but you need help.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. But she's not likely to get it because she's likely to be surrounded by a bunch of people who think that this is what activism should look like. They want everyone in the country to be like this. So, I don't know. Beverly also shared a story about a kid getting picked on in school like that. It's just, I mean, she's terrified. That's what's scary to me, is that she's terrified. Right? Because when people are terrified, they do. If she's actually, this is when you back an animal into a corner, even if that animal has no chance, that's when the animal goes crazy and has to fight and will fight for its life. And they have mentally and emotionally, they being the corporate media predominantly and universities, they've backed people like her into a corner mentally and emotionally. They've been manipulated to the point where she's probably one of these people that is worried that she's something about her that Trump will literally send people to kill her on the streets. And if you actually believe that, no wonder this is your reaction, right? So
this is another reason why I think what the legacy media and what Big Social are doing is immoral and unethical, and it's immoral on many levels. But for one of the reasons it's immoral is because you are terrifying people. You are gaslighting people. You're causing them to believe things that are not true, things that are terrifying. You're complicit in this.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, the press is not without guilt in a bloody revolution. Usually the press is, or not even a revolution, in a democide. Look, people talk about communism killing 100 million people in the 20th century. Think about all the corporate media. Think about all the press that went around spewing agitprop for communism. That blood's on their hands.